Here's a great example of why we should legalize sex work. We can keep it off the streets and away from schools. We can do what Nevada has done and legalize people doing sex work, as well as like Germany, who has legalized sex work. Uh, you pay like a few bucks a day, you get a license to do sex work, and boom, everything's fine. People are taxed, people are protected, regulated. Uh, we could easily do that here and give sex workers a place to set up, and nobody would be worried.
Helena.
Raymond Pisano lives along East 15th Street. 3 months ago, he was accustomed to telling stories like this.
Girl, I swear, she must have been like 11 or 12 years old. It sort of seemed like, I don't know, maybe I'm a bad judge of that. And she said, can I borrow your telephone? I was like, no way I'm going to let you use my telephone. It's like, what do you think?
Yeah.
You just, you got to be careful, right? And she says, I just want to call my mom. It just broke my heart.
Young women believed to be sex workers waiting outside his front doorstep.
If you looked at the traffic or out at the street at nighttime when their headlights were on, it was thick with the exhaust of cars. We've often talked about the kids going to school and how they have to step over used condoms.
He says what used to feel like a red light district now feels like a neighborhood. Pisano says it's gone from 30 women walking the street along East 15th to 0. And it's all thanks to these traffic barricades. But the problem didn't go far. Just asked Helena Lara.
I saw one of the pimps hitting in the face of one of the ladies. How often?
Yeah, yeah. See, if we can make it so that sex workers are their own bosses, and instead of having to be pimped out by an abusive person, they're their own boss. Just like in Nevada, where, pimps are illegal, but if a person is their own madam, well, then it's legal. And this would solve the problem of women being abused by pimps. And also, barricades didn't solve any problem. It just pushed the problem to a different area. See, that's the issue with a lot of these quote-unquote solutions a lot of people want to implement. It doesn't actually solve the root of the issue. It just pushes the people somewhere else.
Often do you see that?
Frequently. It's usually every day.
She lives at the corner of 21st and International Boulevard.
The police is coming, the ladies go like that, and then go out when the police car pass.
Trafficking operations have long plagued this area, but recent construction pushed the problem directly across from St. Anthony's grade school back in February. Father Gabriel, the parish pastor, told us this.
Because if there is a violence, shooting, sometimes we experience those kind. It worries me a lot. The safety of my parishioner.
Father, prayers alone won't solve this problem.
We start with prayer, but we have to end with action.
The irony is the action taken to deter the problem away from St. Anthony's may be pushing it to other schools. In February, the alleged sex work and trafficking operations crowded at least 7 blocks from East 15th to 22nd Avenue. Police sources told the I-Team now the operations are becoming more discreet, occasionally visible in the Little Saigon neighborhood along International Boulevard. But
Yeah, it's going to become more and more discreet because people are going to be want to try to hide their activity so they don't get pushed away to a different location. Again, this is just why legalize it, give these people a place where they can set up, and we would not have any of these issues.
parents are still reporting concerns around 4 schools nearby, including Franklin Elementary School, Garfield Elementary School, the Community School for Creative Education, and Roosevelt Middle School. The IT met with the San Antonio Neighborhood Coalition, a group of concerned parents and neighbors who are working to address that. Pisano is one of them.
The pimps have recruiters or whatever, or they are recruiters, and they'll park outside the schools and they'll try to attract girls to come and talk with them, to get in their car, and see if they can get them to participate.
And legalizing sex work would prevent that from happening because these people wouldn't be able to go after younger girls because it would be illegal to have these. Those doing everything legally would only be allowed to have 18 and up working in the business. Uh, People would be required to show ID and stuff like that, and everybody would have protections.
Ladies, maybe 14, 16-year-old.
Some concerns that have been brought up from my after-school program staff.
Maricela Deonda is the managing director for Roosevelt Middle School, overseeing the after-school program.
We did have a situation where two of our middle school students were broad daylight when the bell rang, were literally like taken into a car, thrown on the back seat. Don't know for what purposes. But
Deonda says she hasn't personally witnessed any pimps recruit students on campus, but is worried it may be happening down the street where students hang out after school.
Our students are normally known to go to San Antonio Park, which is about a block away from our school. And there has been very suspicious individuals or even cars.
The San Antonio Neighborhood Coalition is meeting to discuss new efforts to crack down and make the existing barricades permanent.
I want to make sure that because some of the activity is getting diverted to other neighborhoods, that we're also responsive to those neighbors.
Oakland City Council President Nick.
So what are they going to do, to set up barricades everywhere? Because that doesn't solve any of the issues whatsoever. It's like these people are just dumb and just can't do the simple solution of legalizing sex work and regulating it. Like, like when alcohol was made illegal, there was rampant crime and gangs, and the mafia formed and all that, because once it became illegal, people could make money off of it, and boom, you got the effects or the consequences of making alcohol illegal. And then we made it legal in order to end all of that. We can do the same with sex work, like with cannabis. It's being made illegal or legal almost everywhere, and the reduction in crime and stuff around it has been shown. So we can do that again with sex work and reduce the crimes around it.
Nikki Fortunato Bass represents the area.
Do you support making these barricades permanent?
That is absolutely something I'm committed to doing. We are working with OakDOT to look at how we can do that.
Will you ensure there's money in the budget for that?
I am absolutely going to make sure that we have both the design for how to have those diverters remain and the funding to make them remain.
For now, a temporary fix to a decades-old problem.
Nobody wants to risk losing these barricades.
That's bringing back some peace and even some plants to East Oakland.
Now, the mayor launched a human trafficking advisory council this week, and we're told one of their first priorities will be allocating funding to help these other grade schools that are being impacted by the new barricades.
Again, if you really wanted to stop sex workers going around schools and stuff, legalize sex work, and that would stop, because people would then go to businesses set up for that instead of going to a school.